going on, y'all? It's Jay Small Reviews here, back at it again with another video. Top of the week, I might be like a day old to this one, but I am doing my Geechi Gotti versus Jay the NiteWing. A little bit more of a detailed review. Obviously, I've recapped it on traffic. I've even talked about the battle a few times, but I thought it was a good enough battle that it could use a real bar for bar and talk about the details of what happened. We're going to be back to regularly scheduled program this week. I think I've really only gotten about 2, maybe 3 videos out, I think the last week or 2, but December is in full throttle. We got all types of content dropping, all types of battle events going on. Obviously this weekend, if you are in New York, go to any of the array events that are going down. iBattle's going down, Queen of the Ring's going down, Chrome's going down, URL's got Homecoming going down, so a lot of stuff and a lot of hype going into New York this weekend. But without further ado, we are talking about Geechi Gotti versus Jay, and let's start from the first round. So the first round starts on Jay the NiteWing, and would you believe it, he has a very slow start. And I think that's always something that's specifically with Jay first that you're going to see is that he always, when a battle starts, really, he does the whole calm, stays quiet for a long time till everyone's completely silent. And then from there, he has an angle about the traffic card being a setup. Oh, they got me on the EFB card. And it's a long lead up into saying instead of like Geechi Gotti's signature, use a bitch, he says use a pack. And no one makes any sound. No one. It is a complete miss of a lead up, if that's what it even is. I feel like sometimes Jay says things that are like that. It's almost like I'm not going to say a purposeful air ball, but it's just a very strange opener of the round. I really got no explanation for it. So from there, he gets into the Cali. They say Cali got the best trees. Yeah, that's why he's still alive. Obviously, little angle punch on Geechi hiding behind the tree, that old angle. The Washington Carver bar was dope. Mechanics, now the mechanic in here knocking the starters. And it's decent material, but he starts to see a little dry spot after that. It's just a very slow opener. Then he slowly, you know what I'm saying, he's working the jab, and then he has the cool uncle bar. Thought was dope. Your presents ain't the same with me, like Christmas with Dad. Fire. Your team come over here at CC's. I got all the slices they can have. Thought that was cool. He had the Cody race breakdown. He talked about, I think, about 7 or 8 battlers that are all kind of in the talks of that Cody list. Then he said all the dog got for him is a 30 sack of work. So big K bar to end it. Obviously one of the prominent front runners in the race. So overall, he starts making it a better first by the end. And then you even get to the last bar. I don't need you. I need your death to be seen by your set. That was crazy. Like the way he said that, the way he set it up too. I can't remember the setup bar to it. He says, I don't need your respect. I just need the way that I kill you to be seen by your set. So he ends on a haymaker. Solid first, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, it builds up, but it takes a long time to get there. And then you go to Geechi's first. He says, does a whole thing about I could get this vaulted. If I mess up, I can just make a call to your boss and make sure it never comes out. And then from there, he has his own dry spot. I don't think either of their first start out too crazy. Geechi, back-to-back, just a bunch of jabs for the most part. Told his girl I got something more comfortable for her to slip into, a coma. Thought that was solid. The Jason lyrics bar was dope. He's got the TDE scheme, which I've heard a lot of TDE schemes to be real. I thought he performed it out pretty well, but I thought it was just cool. My shotgun from London, the sawed-off from London, my shoddy horror, I thought that was pretty dope. You try me, Try me, I'll make you make the floor quicker than you ever did. Obviously, Jay's got the make the floor bar from early in his career, so I thought that was a really, really clever flip on that. I love that bar. The pick apart scheme, I believe it's called glitching. You know what I'm saying? Chilla Jones' term for this. When you take a phrase like he does here, he says, "Where do you work at?" Pick apart. You know what I'm saying? I tell my homies break his arms and legs. Pick apart. Reading the obituary and pick apart. You know, and it could be a lot. It could be a lot, but I thought the first couple little iterations was clever, especially the obituary bar. I thought it was solid, and then from there he lands the big haymaker at the end. The Arizona bar, the prostitute, Indian 27, like a prostitute on Indian 27th in Indian school. That whole shit lands like a bomb haymaker in the building, and for the most part, neither of them I thought. In the build, I thought Geechi won clear. I still have Geechi winning the first by an edge, and it has more to do with what Jay didn't do than what Geechi did. The material for Geechi, and to be honest, it was good in this first, but it didn't hit the same as it did for me in the building. But even with that being said, Jay still had his slow build-up issues, things like that, and which is why I still have Gotti 1-0 going into the second round. From there, we get right into the second round. I think this is when the battle as a whole starts picking up, even though, funny enough, Jay starts out his second very slow again. You know what I'm saying? And he just, almost like putting things together up until he gets to what the basis of this angle is going to be, which is the hair angle slash scheme. You know what I'm saying? So obviously Geechi's got the big angle. While we talk about angles like the tree one earlier, right, that's been used on him, we all know Geechi's selling bundles, Geechi's selling hair. Verb obviously worked the hell out of that angle. So he gets into this and he talks about, I always thought Gotti's mannerisms were weird when he says like this to clap to 50. You know, Gotti be holding his arm. And he said, this is the motion of my wife fixing my daughter's hair on the damn couch, which I thought was funny. You know what I'm saying? I think it starts off as kind of a comedy-based angle. You know what I'm saying? He's kind of joking on him for the way he you know what I'm saying, for selling hair, comparing it to his battle rap mannerisms. And then he says, code word, relax, let the iron flat you. And this is where it gets dope. And this is what he did versus Mad Flex in his second. And it's something that Jay's really good at that I always attribute to the late, great Pat Stay. I thought was someone else that did this great. And it's taking an angle that starts as comedy and making it something like hard-hitting, right? So he starts out with the jokes, wife fixing the daughter's hair, the iron flats you. They gonna say this was a blowout. Your only wins have been against Mike, and that was a silk press. Thought that was crazy. Frank Lucas, Frank Lucas because his conditioner is Blue Magic. Funny, but I thought it was pretty crazy. Something about the Crip fighting, but all he's going to do is bob and weave. So he's intertwining, you know what I'm saying, other situations related with Geechi, and using it to attack him while still using all the hair angles, which it's almost like a double layer of directness, right? Even though we've heard, you know what I'm saying, like even hair schemes before. I'm not going to act like it's the most creative wordplay wise, but it's like a different type of approach of doing it. And I think he pulled it off really, really well. I thought it was a Tyler Perry movie with Marcus from the Salon talking about why he's married, talking about Geechi's podcast. Tyler Perry flips. So once again, crazy. Like as he's building it up, it's a double layered directness. The watch out, make this man rap. Thought that was crazy. And when it's real, you can tell. That don't sound like Tekashi. So Jay has a super good second. I think Jay's second is better than his first. He gets into the angle bag. He uses the comedy. He uses that pace in the first round that was kind of awkward, works to his favor. And I thought Geechi's second response is good too. He has 3 rebuttals about the hair shit. The blowout rebuttal, I don't do hair, I'm just a Crip, that's hilarious. I'd be having the iron out pressing shit. And then he said, I think it's funny watching my enemies wave caps. I thought that was so he lands 3 of them, the third one being the wave cap bar being the hardest of them. If I ever dropped a dime, a smoker picked it up and put it in his pipe. Thought that was dope. And then probably the most fire shit, in my opinion, Geechi said in this battle, I seen fiends light up in the cold cheesing. I'm talking crack in the code with a smile, like face recognition. That facial recognition bar was stupid. Doctors, he's Samoan, so doctors looking for his tongue in cheek. Thought that was crazy. She had her son died knocking at the door. Now the police are asking her if the killer's name rings a bell. The wrestling scheme. 30 is the age we don't make. And then he kind of freestyles, you know what I'm saying, to end the round. And it's a bit messy. And the 30 is going to freestyle a lot better. But at the end of the second, Geechi freestyles clearly like get out of the round. A lot of people might say it's a choke. At the very least, it's stumbly, it's disorganized on some Charlie Clips type of stuff, right? So close second in my opinion. But I still edge Jay the second. I think his round approach is more creative. I think he had higher peaks and overall just had the more complete second round. So I do have it 1-1 going into the third. And Jay's third starts off with man, it's gonna be so hard to explain this third without going on and on. But he starts out with this Matrix type of theme, right? Talking about the Matrix and how Geechi is like homie eating the steak. And I forgot the name of homie in the Matrix. You know what I'm saying? The bald guy. But when he's eating the steak and he knows it's fake, he's talking to Agent Smith across the table. So he opens up like, Geechi, that's you, and that steak, that fake illusion, you know, even though you know it's fake to give you comfort, is he compares it to gang culture. He says like that's the Matrix walls, and then he goes down a whole an angle that Math Hoffa did in his third versus Geechi very well, kind of poking the holes in gang culture, you know what I'm saying, how it actually hurts the community and how it's actually used as like a way to box people in and keep them in this cycle, which we've heard so many iterations of this, but I feel like some of the lines that he used to break it down, when Jay gets in his very deep message bag, it's really one of the most unique things that makes him one of someone that people consider a fan favorite. Obviously the love he gets in the app and just in general. Y'all don't don't want to hear Sharif, but just see who Kane is. Dope. Y'all don't listen as the CD changes, and now it's us shooting us. So I guess we became the racists. That hit crazy in the building. And this one I thought was dope. The red, blue, right, left. It's all politics. The comparison between obviously like Democrats, Republicans, they got the red and blue, and then the red and blue. You know what I'm saying, with gang culture. So a lot of great parallels here. It's obviously like a very multi-layered, a thoughtful round. You don't think this shit look real? Well, then look me in my eyes again. That was a crazy flip on Geechi's. If it ain't real, you can see it in his eyes. I said that wrong. Why don't he give you a round like this? Kind of talk about, if Geechi claims to be the person that he is, why isn't he giving you a round with this type of nature? The Morpheus, it's not a pill, so now he wraps it back to the Matrix. You know what I'm saying? It's not a pill that I want you to take. We not the victims, we the bullets. If you're not on the right side of this wall with me, well then you's a bitch. Lands is a stupid haymaker to end the third. So flipping Geechi slogans on him. Obviously deep message within the round. And then the Matrix scheme, you know what I'm saying? The Matrix kind of theme behind that is just a lot to Jay's third. In my opinion, it was clearly his best round of the battle. I didn't even do my best job explaining it because it's just a round that you're going to have to kind of see for yourself to understand what I'm talking about. And then Geechi actually scraps most of his third to rebuttal back. Now, I don't know if his whole third. He said, I just scrapped my whole third to freestyle back. There is a section in here I think may or may not be written. I can't speak to that, right? But he does start out with the rebuttal in the angle. He's like, listen, you need to be on honor roll. If you show me B's and C's, you can't even hang with us, which is a great rebuttal to follow that third. Then saying the stuff that he's rapping about right now, we actually do that in real life. So he's telling me, why don't you give you a round like this? I'm giving you stuff like this in real life, which is a very good way to approach an angle like this, where really the angle was already like 10 out of 10. The building was on Jay's side. They loved it. So to respond with that, it was very strategic, very good. An example of good freestyling and battle rap. I didn't show up for this series. I didn't show up for serious like the face off. So he didn't show for this series. He didn't show for the Serious Jones face off. He is the chess scheme that I thought was pretty good. The Knight always take a L and help you stay in the game. You big and boring. You just an extra large chilla is anything. That was funny as hell. And then he gets into a whole disrespect portion. You could debate that this is written, not written. It's a career breakdown for Jay. Talking about him choking, him not living up to the hype. Now you got to live through your brothers like the sixth man. I thought that was pretty good as well. Probably the best bar out of that portion. Once again, though, towards the end, a little better than the second, but he freestyles kind of comedy-wise just to get to the end of the third. I think it's a very good third from Geechi, but I just think Jay set the bar too high. I thought the rebuttals were good, but the ending, that second half of the round, didn't match up to a very complete and thoughtful Jay round, which is why I had Jay the NiteWing winning the third pretty clear and winning the second and winning the battle 2-1. And that is my full thoughts here on Jay the NiteWing versus Geechi Gotti. As you know what I'm saying, as I said before, I do have Jay edging the second. I do believe the second is close, although Geechi's ending with the freestyle. It makes it harder because it is messy, but I do feel like their rounds are almost like equaling to each other, and then maybe that takes a little bit of points away to give Jay the edge, right? I had Geechi in the first. And then as for the third, they really both have great rounds, but I just think Jay's third is the best round of the battle. So how do I not give him that round? You know what I'm saying? I think Geechi does good things with the freestyle, the disrespect in the roasting of Jay's career, which was going to be a necessary approach, but freestyles a little bit towards the end and just doesn't have the same impact that I feel Jay had. So I did have Jay winning the battle, which is a big look for him. Great battle, though. Battle of the night and a debatable battle at that. I think it will be to many. So not too bad of a look for Geechi either, but I'd love to hear your guys' opinion. Who did you have winning this battle and why? I figured there's going to be a lot of people with Jay. I just feel like it's almost, even though Jay's been around for a minute, it just feels like a breath of fresh air when he raps. When he rapped versus Madflex, his approach seems so different than really what the rest of the card did. Similar to this in the Geechi battle, a slow burn, but punch-filled first. A weird angle, not a bad angle, but an angle you wouldn't expect to see, maybe even one that would go over your heads, an event that you wouldn't remember. And then the third is obviously a message-based round. So maybe this is going to be the format that he uses going forward. It's a format that's worked for him in 2 battles this year. The Madflex battle's great. The Geechi battle's great. So hopefully we're just going to continue to see great things from Jay the NiteWing in 2024. And Geechi's got, I believe, one more battle here with Serious than his 2023 is wrapped up. So we'd love to hear y'all's opinion on how do you feel Geechi's year has been. Where do you have him in the Cody ranks? Where do you have it amongst the best years of his career? Just let me know in the comments down below. But it's been Jay Small Reviews again, y'all. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm going to catch you on the next one, man. Peace.